Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another edition of
Welcome,
Backstop
welcome,
Banter.
welcome.
Listen, we're here on a fine November 10th, 10:02. Even though we're always supposed to start at 9 because Michael keeps me up past my bedtime.
My fault.
Uh,
100%.
I'm just trying to be a good person, go to sleep early, and Michael keeps keeping me up. It's unbelievable, honestly.
Connie, I want to apologize to you. I'm sorry about that, man. I know you're trying to do right, be good, go to sleep, have that perfect amount of time of rest for a healthy life. And it's my fault. I apologize. But for everyone out there, just so you know why we are
Now I have
having
to
to
stay up
wait,
until 4 in the morning, Michael.
you have to get up before in the morning?
I said, no, now I have to stay up until 4 in the morning.
Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry. But the reason that we are an hour later than normal, which has not really been the normal here lately. But my family, my three kids are in school. Two are in first grade, one's in kindergarten. Today was their fall festival. I always thought it was kind of before Halloween, but you know what? Whatevs. So they did a program or a play like program where it's the middle school or elementary. I think it's up to like sixth grade, maybe fifth grade. I'm not for sure. But anyways, they actually did a trolls play where they acted it out, and the kindergartners did a dance to one of their songs, and the first graders did a dance, and so on. But after that, we had the games. I'm sure, Connie, you all have games in the fall festivals up there, right?
No,
Are you serious?
I don't even know what a fall festival would be.
Wow. Okay, well, let me tell you what a fall festival is here, anyways. It's a way where parents get their kids in schools after hours and buy tickets for like games that you can play and everything. Like, have you never went to one of these things? Like, do they really not have those up there?
Now that I feel like in elementary school, I might have had something like that once,
Once? Oh my goodness.
where and I also think it wasn't at my school either, but it was just like you would go and like I think it was like dodgeball and basketball things like that. Like it wasn't,
Okay.
but
Well, I'll tell you some of the games that we played. Okay. Well, they did have like, you pay two tickets, you get like three shots at a free throw line to win. You could throw a football through a tire. There was a haunted hallway because it was at the school. We did a cakewalk. Do you know what a cakewalk is?
I can't say I do.
Listen, we're obese for a reason down here, okay? So there is a number line, basically in a circle. You play music, everyone has a number. And once the music stops, you have to stop on a number, and then someone draws a number. And if you're on that number, you win a cake, or a cupcake or a cookie. It's the cakewalk. And that's one of my favorites. And my daughter won it twice, and she did not want a cake. She didn't want anything. She said, "No, I just want to keep playing." I was like, "Okay, can Daddy have the cake?" And that was not an option. So
Unbelievable.
then there was one for musical chairs, which it's okay. I'm not really sure. Like everyone that paid a ticket got to play, obviously, and no matter when you lost, you got a prize too, like a little toy or something. So I mean, it's like okay. But they enjoyed that. Got a little face paint done on them. My youngest daughter, she has a half butterfly on her face.
Okay.
This one was pretty cool. They had a Nerf gun set up where you shot like the solo cups, and however many you knocked off, you can win a prize. It's like carnival games, basically, that you buy tickets to pay for so you can play. Really? You all didn't have anything like this? It's a lot of fun. There's a silent auction, of course, where there's a bunch of Kentucky stuff. There's some fishing stuff. There's some baskets of I don't know, like a kitchen stuff. A lot of what are those mittens? Salt and pepper shakers. Decorative stuff like that. Really, y'all don't have this?
No.
Y'all are missing out. Okay, because it is, as you all say, fire, which doesn't make sense.
I don't think people say it that much anymore.
Really, that's good because it didn't really make sense.
More of a lit situation these days.
I mean, I can understand lit because that makes sense. Like, hey, we made it cool, we made it hot, but to say it's fire, it's forest fire.
It also just doesn't sound right coming from you.
Oh, really, man? Come on, that's fire. Come on,
No,
that's
that's
calm.
Tragic is what that is.
Tragic? I don't think so.
You know.
Listen, I miss the words.
You guys have jumpathons?
We have what?
You guys have jumpathons?
Jumpathons. What's a jumpathon? You jump like a marathon, like?
So we would have a jumpathon, and it was supposed, and I think it always raised money for like the American Heart Association.
Uh
But in
huh.
elementary school, we would have this thing called a jumpathon. It was like you would get a jump rope, and like all the kids that went, and I think it was after school.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was. And all the kids that went, like it would say, "Okay, start jump roping," and like the last person standing would like get a prize, and then like, okay, now you gotta do one, now you gotta do left foot, then you gotta do right foot, then you gotta do like behind, backwards. So there was like different, and then I think, oh my, I keep dropping this thing.
What is it? Just go ahead and show us.
My brother, when he asked me
Your
to be in
brother
his
Michael?
wedding, yes, when he asked me to be in his wedding, got everybody a flask with their name on it,
Oh, okay, that's cool.
and I was playing with it, but now it's like not standing up straight, and it's really annoying me. I don't know
Hmm.
why.
It sounded like you had a coin machine you were throwing coins into.
Well, it keeps knocking into my Elite controller pieces.
Mm.
It's great news. Sent my Elite controller back because I figured out it was still under warranty, even though I got it like last Christmas. I used it like 3 times, and then it stopped working. Well, not that it stopped working, but like the analog stick, like if I like breathed on it, it would like make my character walk forward, even if I wasn't
Okay,
touching the controller or anything. So it was literally
gotcha.
unusable. So I used it for probably 2 weeks, and then I couldn't use it ever again. And I was like, oh, you know what? I want to see what happens. So you have to register your thing to your Xbox account. So I went online, I registered it to my account, and it said warranty. And I was like, oh, interesting, because I vividly remember telling my mom not to get warranty for it because I was like, I'm not going to break this. It's like a $180 controller.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not going to break it
Broken.
because I've broken other controllers because, I get a little angry sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, no, I'm not going to break an expensive one. And then it just stopped working. So I didn't think I had insurance, but then I figured out I did. Got a nice box. They sent me a label. It arrived to the Microsoft store today. So
Hey,
it's either going to get fixed or they send you a new one.
that's nice.
So
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that.
I'm very happy about it.
Showing my age on here, I once got the 3 rings of death on my Xbox
I got that too.
360.
I got that.
I was so scared that I just lost everything. But it was under warranty somehow because I always thought the 3 rings of death was not
Oh yeah,
warrantized,
I
if that's
know.
word.
Those are
But
tough days.
no, yeah, man. But they actually had warranty under it, said so. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, those are tough days when those rings would pull up.
Absolutely.
Always a scary time.
I love how we matched tonight. Black shirt, black shirt.
I always wear black shirts.
You kind of wear all kinds of stuff, man. But let
Well,
me ask,
I have a
because
lot of black shirts, but they're always different designs and
okay.
things of
So
that.
how did your podcast go?
Oh, we came in second. I was very annoyed because like for this podcasting class, like getting views for them is like 6, 7, things of that nature. And we
Uh-huh.
got 9 on ours because I sent it to a few people. And
Uh,
he was like, okay. And I was the only person in my group that showed up to class that day. So he was like, oh, look,
figures.
you get to pick a prize. And it was stupid prizes. Like I literally picked a keychain that like you can hold things in. Like that's what the prize is.
Keychain you can hold things in.
Yeah,
What do you
like
mean
what?
by? Oh, it's a medicine keychain.
Sure.
I think you can put medicine in it,
Okay.
not cocaine, but just medicine.
Well, I could put a lot of things in it. But so I pick it, and then somebody else asked like, how many plays did our podcast get? And we had gotten 9. He was like, oh wait, you didn't win. The other one got 12. And he's like, we haven't gotten that many, so I just never figured to look up that far. And I was like, oh, okay. So we didn't technically win, but I still got to keep the prize.
Well, that's who cares?
Yeah, I mean, no, listen, they were all stupid prizes anyway. It was like literally, it was like AA batteries, a 2-pack, by the way.
Hey,
Like a 2-pack of AA batteries, like a pencil holder thing. I was like, all right, bro, not that serious.
so that was your fall festival.
We just got our groups for our second podcast. I'm determined to win this time.
Well, you let me know, and I'll watch it again like I did last time.
I
You're welcome.
absolutely will. I'm going to send it to more people. I'm going to post it. We're doing it on embarrassing moments.
Oh, that would be nice. Embarrassing
We're,
moments.
we're going to do like a little round table, and then we're going to
Mm-hmm.
go out into the field, interview some people.
Uh-huh.
Ask what their embarrassing moments are.
Okay.
So I think this one will actually be entertaining. How
That would
about
be
the other
fun
one?
just to see how open people would get with you. One of my most embarrassing moments playing sports was in high school in a JV game, and we wore like our practice jersey instead of like the real jerseys for the JV, anyways. And this guy jumped. I had probably a size or two too big, but that was how you wore them back then the early 2000s, late 90s. But somehow the dude's shoe got stuck in my string when he jumped for a rebound, and as he got it, he like tipped it out, and when he came down, his foot broke my string to my shorts, and my shorts fell to my ankles right in front of everyone. But nobody saw but my mom and the referee, and he had a cackling time laughing at me, which he was a good guy, I like him. So it was kind of, I don't know how anyone else never mentioned it to me that they saw that, but my shorts were at my ankles.
Tidy
It was
whities
ridiculous.
too.
Absolutely not, man. Listen,
You seem like a
it's
tidy
got to
whitey
be,
guy.
it's got to be briefs, only briefs. Like if you wear boxers, I don't trust you.
I wear boxers.
I don't trust you.
Well,
How do you wear?
actually, I
How
don't
do
know.
you wear boxers?
Wait, I don't know. I always get this wrong. Which one are the?
Okay,
I wear like
I
the
wear
loose.
boxer briefs.
I
It's
wear
like
like
the
the.
extended tidy whities.
I don't
Does
know.
that
Mine
make
are
sense
like
to you?
loose. I don't know. They're not like tight.
Are they like silky?
No.
I mean, are they baggy?
I mean, I guess I don't know.
I mean, how do you not know what boxers or boxer briefs are?
I gotta hold on. Let me just
Oh,
because
are you really?
I've worn the same
Listen,
thing
if
for
you're
my
looking
entire
this
life.
up,
I am looking
if
it
you're
up right
looking
now.
this up, you've got to share your screen on what you're calling
Wait, you wear
boxers.
boxer briefs? Yeah, no, you're weird.
No, totally not. Everything is compact, held together. What do you wear? So you actually wear boxers then, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. See, I don't trust you at all. Like,
I guarantee
how?
I'm more comfortable than you.
I don't think so. Like, how do you get pants over boxers? Like, they're so baggy. Like, do they not wad up? Like in your generation, like you all wear those skinny jeans. There's no way you can wear skinny jeans with boxers.
I don't mean I don't wear skinny jeans, so I wouldn't know.
See, it just don't make sense to me that anyone wears boxers at all.
A lot of sweatpants and shorts. Big fan.
I mean, it's cool, man.
Ooh, I'm dying. Anyway, so it's the
Anyway,
baseball world for the first time in this episode. 13 minutes in, I should say.
congratulations.
No, I don't congratulate anybody from the Astros. Hate them forever in my entire heart. Wish nothing but bad things upon them and their entire franchise.
Happy
Anyway,
for Dusty Baker. And
yeah,
what is it?
I can vibe with
Trey
that.
Trey Mancini.
Yeah, I can vibe with that as well. I will say, at least they have a legit World Series run now.
Yes.
I mean, 2017.
That we know of.
Yeah, it would be quite interesting if they did it again. I still really do wonder if the people from that 2017 team get into the Hall of Fame. Like it's not PEDs where we know nobody gets in,
Right.
and like there have been documented cheaters who have gotten in, but I don't know if it was documented during their career, like Gaylord Perry with the spitball, like that was his thing, and it's always been illegal, and he wrote a book about it, like he literally wrote a book about how he threw it. So, but I don't know if that was like I don't know if he said all of this after he was already in the Hall of Fame, and it's like, listen, we voted you in, we're not going to take you out now. That just looks weird.
Right.
So I really do wonder if like Altuve goes on, has the career that he's having, and Bregman, or like if that
My
keeps
thing
him out.
is, I would almost say no, but at the same time, I think it's going to be yes if they have careers that are good enough for it. For the fact that they didn't punish them because they're blaming it on the I won't say front office, but like the management, like that's why no
They
players.
didn't punish the players because they granted them immunity.
Right. Well, that for speaking, but the ones that took most of the force was, the managers were doing it, so we kind of had to cheat. That's kind of what I felt like they were using.
But
Because I mean, once that you know what goes on, you can't unhear the trash can. I mean,
no, but apparently Carlos Beltran was one of the people that helped come up with it. He was a player.
right? Do you think he gets in?
I mean, I guess technically, well, he'll be the first one that we see.
Right. I could see him not, but Altuve, I could see him getting in because I don't think he was a front runner with the business on it.
I mean, they claim he didn't want to use it, but like,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't matter. That's guilty by association type of situation.
Right.
Won an MVP that year. So, like, do you look at the MVP the same? You look at the World Series the same?
Right.
I don't know. I guess we'll find this question out. Everybody's career's over. But I mean,
It's a good
listen,
question.
Astros didn't win the World Series in 6 games. One more game than I thought they would win it in.
The
But
exact game I thought that the Phillies would win in.
but they yeah, they listen, they were just a better team. Uh Phillies got hot at the right time and it carried them to the World Series, got them a couple wins in the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, listen, when you you can throw a combined no hitter in the World Series. You have a rookie who all of a sudden becomes not only the ALCS MVP, he was also the World Series MVP in Jeremy Pena. So, he obviously had one hell of a postseason, kind of that
Mm-hmm.
Randy Arozarena effect, of a few years ago when he went, crazy in the playoffs and everybody kind of figured out who he was. Um, he hasn't really been that great since. So, I guess I can say hopefully Pena turns out better, but are the rumors about all Yankee players going to free agency true? I mean, yeah, I would assume. I know Judge is obviously a free agent.
Jimmy, you're
Rizzo,
not really late. We actually started at 10, so you're good.
uh, Judge is obviously going to test free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Rizzo opted out of his contract.
Already.
He's going to be a free agent. Tyone's contract was up at the end of the year, so he's a free agent.
To me, it almost looks like everyone that can is opting out now.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Right, because you
Well,
can have a bidding
yes,
war
now you
against
have
you.
30 teams bidding on you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you had a down year and you had a player
Right.
option, like you just accept it. Which, speaking of player option, I mean, we talked about it a couple weeks ago when we were kind of surprised that Nolan Arenado, or we thought Nolan Arenado was going to opt out of his contract.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he opted into his contract, and then when you look at it, you realize why. Because you think most of the time, like, oh, they're going to opt into their contract because that means they have another year. His opt-in was like for 4 years, like $100 million.
Oh, wow.
Or not that much. I lied. It was like maybe 5 years and 5 years somewhere, and a bunch of money. So like obviously that's a whole different opt-in than I'm opting into having another year. Like he just opted into 5 more.
Right.
So I
With the
mean,
Cardinals, too, which is year
yeah,
in, year out,
yeah. I
a
mean,
good
listen,
team.
they're always a good team. That division really isn't you know
Whoa, whoa,
anything
whoa.
special. I would say.
Whoa. Watch it,
Like, well, let's be real
Boba.
here. Let's be
Reds in
real.
2025.
Not very good. Deontay Foreman to
Actually,
score a touchdown. I need Cordell Patterson to score one now so I can cash out my bet.
I'm just watching the Heat hurry up and win. They're up by 5 in overtime,
But
and we won. Awesome.
yeah, I mean, listen, World Series, it was good. It was fun.
It
Obviously,
was fun.
yeah, I watched a lot more of it than I thought I would. I think it was
Mhm.
more of me hate watching the Phillies than or not the
Uh,
Phillies, the Astros than
gotcha.
than really rooting for anything. But it was still a fun watch, and I'm kind of curious what the ratings are, just because I like to see how they do up against other sports.
Right.
But a fun series. Verlander kind of exercised his demons in his second start. I think he went 5 innings, didn't give up a run or anything. Which before that he had the worst ERA in World Series history, I believe, by
Hmm.
any starting pitcher. That qualified for the ERA. So he exercised those demons, and like I said, Jeremy Pena is becoming a star. I mean, you do things. Listen, you become a star in the postseason. You can do a lot of things in the regular season. If you don't do anything in the postseason, people don't really care about you.
Right.
Let's you look at players all over. Mike Trout, he hasn't done anything in the postseason now, mainly because he hasn't been able to get there. It's not like he's gotten there and choked, but
Right.
maybe he's an even bigger star than he is now. Maybe he is having those commercials. Maybe he is more recognizable if he is finally in the postseason, but that hasn't happened. I mean, there was a long stretch of time where, like, I don't think Brandon Marshall ever made the playoffs in his NFL career.
Okay, I was going to say, like, Brandon Marshall. Are we talking about the football player?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I'm just like giving examples from other places. Like,
I'm with you.
I mean, he was always a big star, but you don't have that big tell-all game in the playoffs. Maybe it's not. You don't get.
I mean, Dan Marino's the person I think of. Granted, he don't have a ring. Like, he's got playoff wins and stuff like that. But, like, he's the greatest quarterback to never win a Super Bowl.
I mean, even Peyton, like, he has 2 Super Bowls and things, but I think he also has the NFL record for most one and dones in the playoffs.
Well, that's because they ran into Tampa Bay, whatever he plays for.
Well, hey, listen, that's why
the Patriots. I mean, he's good.
You know what
he's
I mean?
Good. He's also 2-0 since his divorce as well. So,
as he should be. But yeah, good World Series. Your opinion, MVP.
Were you impressed or let down by Phillies?
No, I was impressed. I mean, I guess it's hard to say how impressed. Actually, no, I will say I was impressed because coming off of the Seattle series where they didn't really do anything on offense besides that first game where they destroyed Verlander and then they let them come back. Obviously, the Yankees didn't do anything offensively. Like, the Phillies did a lot more offensively than I thought that they would. I thought that their pitching was pretty solid. I thought it would be. I thought their starting pitching would be better, and their bullpen would kind of screw them over. But I know that Aaron Nola didn't pitch that crazy good. Wheeler didn't pitch that amazing, which they had done in the previous couple of rounds to really get them there. So I would say offensively, I was definitely impressed. And I mean, we just talked about he didn't win the ring, but I mean, Bryce Harper was unbelievable in the playoffs. So you go into next year looking like he can become that megastar that we had kind of talked about before, where it's Ohtani and Tatis and Judge and all those people, but he's always been up there. But maybe a run like that of getting somebody to the World Series and then hopefully they have another good year. It's you start building on those things and really cash in on it. So yeah, I would say I was more impressed. Because like I said, I wouldn't have been surprised if they got swept. I gave them. I said Astros in 5 because I was like, they'll win a game because Wheeler will have a great game or Noah will have a great game. And it wasn't that. I mean, they won. I think they won game 1. They put up like 7 runs or something like that. So definitely more. Definitely did
they
better
won
than
1 and 3, I think, for the game.
Yeah. So, what about you, Michael? Huh? Any thoughts or anything? I know you.
I was really hoping that. Well, I was hoping that didn't work out right. I was hoping that, of course, Philly would win. Obviously, I was really hoping. But I was happy that they got the 2 games. Looking back, I'm not wanting to discredit the second game that they won by like hitting 7 home runs after that the starting pitcher was tipping their pitchers. I'm not going to downplay that at all. I mean, if you can get an advantage, take an advantage the right way, Astros. So happy that they got that. I was hoping for a game 7. It didn't. And I really feel like the Phillies kind of got more momentum going into this season and next year because no one really thought they would be there, especially the way they played mid-season. What?
The lag is real right now, brother. The lag is real.
Can you hear now?
Oh. Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, now you sound better.
Okay, are we back? Okay.
I think
so. But the Phillies, I feel like, my Wi-Fi thing went away, so it should be good now. Am I good?
Oh, yeah. Maybe not.
Okay. So, the Phillies, again.
Just keep going. I'll cut you
wave
off.
Okay. The Phillies even talked about they went back and took their names down for the World Series conversations, the pitchers that they already had made for them winning the World Series. and they wanted to have that feeling. Like there's pictures of Nicholas Castellanos going and getting his name and some of the other players. And it's just kind of shows the head that they have in this right now. Like it's not okay, we lost, let's go on. It's off season, let's go. It's almost like, hey, we were so close. Let's soak this in as much as we can for next year, and let's be hungry for this and keep on going. So I kind of like that for the Phillies. They show some gut by doing that. I feel like they're showing some dedication to it. So I'm excited as far as seeing what they do this offseason because I do think they're going to improve. I think they probably will spend some more money and say, hey, we're in it now. Bryce Harper is looking like the guy that we thought he could be. And with Castellanos there, real TJ, Real Amuto, couldn't say it there for a second. Yeah. And just what we got from him defensively. Offensively, he struggled a little bit, but I think that they'll make some moves this offseason. I mean, there's even rumors that Verlander could possibly go there. I don't think that happens. But, I mean, there's rumors of everything already. So, I mean, we're like, what, less than a week out, and there's so much rumors going on?
Yeah, I don't think free agents can start. So what? The World Series ended when, Michael?
Friday or Saturday last week.
Because I don't think free agents can do anything until like 5 days after the ending of the World Series. So
if that's true, they should be good because we had the show last week. We said by the time we come back on, you'll have a World Series.
True. So
or a World Series winner.
I don't know. Let me check when free agency kicks off. Find out MLB free agency start. Here we go. 5 p.m. The last time a free agency has the time a free agency has come. It says starting tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern, free agents may start signing new teams.
Boom. Because I do know there was somebody
that's 14 hours ago. So yeah,
it has begun.
Yeah.
Mortal free agency. Sorry, it's late, guys. I need to go to bed. With that being said,
free agency thing that you wanted to surprise me with.
Well, I didn't realize. Well, not really surprised. Just something I hadn't showed you. Did you know that the Silver Sluggers came out? I didn't know that.
Only because Aaron Judge won.
Well, okay, and there was 2 from the Astros that won. But if you want to go ahead and get into what I wanted to talk about, since you said his name anyways, let me pull it up here and share my screen.
Also, I know Judge won the Hank Aaron Award in the AL. Paul Goldschmidt won it in the NL. Just to
okay, here is a article by CBSSports.com that has the top 50 MLB free agency ranking, the top, obviously. So I just want to go through here some, and of course, Aaron Judge is number 1 right now. He should be. And, it's got a little article written here. So what do you think happens with Aaron Judge this year? Oops.
Listen, I mean, I was watching, my trusty old Michael K show, and he, listen, he works for the Yankees. He's the voice of the Yankees, and he said, any reporter, any agent that comes on and tells you that they know what Aaron Judge is going to do, they're lying to you. So, obviously, it's still very up in the air what he's going to do. Obviously, the Yankees are in on him. There were reports earlier. That maybe the Dodgers let Trey Turner walk away and they go and try and sign Judge and then move Mookie Betts to second. That would be crazy. He's from the San Francisco area, so the Giants are supposed to be all in on him. And I saw something that I think somebody within the Giants organization said that they won't be outspent for him. So that's obviously a very big, thing. And then, listen, you have the richest owner in all of baseball across town with the Mets. So, people wondering, will he go over his kind of self-imposed tax limit that, the MLB kind of put on him when he got the team. And I mean, listen, when you have the money and you don't really care about things, I can see it happening. Because you got to remember, like, he blew out the other offers for Starling Marte. He, the last offseason, he skipped over, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. and gave Scherzer 43.5 million when he didn't have to. You know, so now if and well, you just look at there, DeGrom's number 2 on the list. Like, do they want to go and spend another 45 maybe? Because listen, every time you sign, you're supposed to reset the market if you're that good, and we obviously know what DeGrom can do when he's healthy. So
Absolutely.
you know, I, I don't know. It's hard for me to speak without the heart involved, but I think he comes back. I think they I think they strategically did a lot of things this season after he didn't sign, of like Paul O'Neill Day and him getting his number retired and seeing how beloved he was by the fans. Then all of a
Hmm.
sudden, literally the first time since he's retired, Derek Jeter came back to Yankee Stadium this season. They honored him, and the old timers day, and breaking the record there, and everything, all the things they did for him. So I don't know. I think he looked at that, and it all kind of depends on what he wants. And obviously, like we said, none
Hmm.
of us really know that. But if he wants the money, he might go somewhere else, because I don't know what the Yankees are willing to do. Obviously, they have enough money to sign anybody they really want, if we're being
Hmm.
honest. But maybe the Giants are like, listen, we need somebody, because they're usually a top 5 team in attendance. The Giants are,
Hmm.
and I think this year they slipped down to like 15th. So you kind of look at that and it's like, okay, maybe we need to make a big splash here, get people back in the stands. So do the Yankees offer him maybe 6 years, and let's just say 45 million a year, make him the highest player in baseball history?
Hmm.
And the Giants say, hey, listen, we really need to make a splash here. We'll give you 8 years for 46.
How
Like,
old is he?
I think he's 32, I believe. So, obviously you don't want a 10-year contract, because that takes him to 42. The last, I'd say, 4 years of that contract are probably going to be pretty bad. I mean, listen, even giving him a 6-year contract, there's literally not a comparison to him in baseball history. You don't know how his body's going to hold up. I mean, he's been hurt, but it's never been like, oh, he has a hamstring and he's out for 2 months, or he has an Achilles, he's out, he whatever. Like, his injuries was, he got hit in the hand, so he broke something in his hand, so he was out for a while.
Right.
He dove trying to catch a ball, he broke a part of his rib.
True.
So it's never like these soft tissue things that you get scared of with some of these athletes, where it's like, okay, well, soft tissue injuries start building up, then it's kind of like, what do we do here? It's always been like kind of weird situations with him. But even then, like, the closest comparison to him is Dave Winfield, and Dave Winfield was like 6'7" as well. Judge, I believe, is 6'7" or 6'8", but Judge is like 285. Dave Winfield was like 210. He was a stick.
Hmm.
Very, very strong. Like, he was strong, but he was skinnier. So I mean, 6'7", and he was always playing left field or right field. Judges played center, uh, and things like that. So there's really no true comparison to what his body's going to do. Like, you can look at the average, body type in the MLB, and
Hmm.
oh, we have 8,000 different people that have ever looked like this. We can just compare it to that. You have a one of one. So I don't know. I want to say he stays with the Yankees. I think they bite the bullet and they give him the 7th year that I know that they don't want to do. They probably want to keep it to maximum 6, but listen, I just think that they can't afford to lose him. I think people are going to absolutely lose their mind. Everybody's already mad that Cashman still has a job, that Boone has a job, and you're going to lose him too. Yeah, good luck on opening day.
According to this article here, it says that he'll be 31 in April.
Okay, so maybe I was
So I
wrong.
mean, it's a year younger, but I mean, it's not like it's that big of a deal. So I mean, I almost think that does get that 10-year contract just for the fact of what he's done this year. Now, who's going to do it? I don't know.
I don't
I know
know.
when you're 30, it sounds okay. It might be reaching because I don't know. I mean, here's the thing: Pujols did it a 10-year contract, and everybody thought, "Oh my goodness, he's going to be 40 when he's done." He had an okay year this last year. Granted,
Yeah,
there was
I
some
mean, let's be real here. Was he worth all of that
he
money?
disappeared, but at this, well, it was the Angels. Uh,
But like,
my
exactly though, like, you have to worry about it for the team that you are.
true.
Like, I
But
mean, for the Angels, that killed them. They couldn't sign anybody else. They gave him all that money. They don't have the money to mess up contracts. Like, yeah, they're a Los Angeles team, but they're not the Dodgers, so they don't have the money to mess up contracts. Like,
I almost think that Aaron Judge is going to be the guy that says, "Hey, I'll stay a Yankee, but you don't have to pay me all that much."
I don't
Now,
know.
obviously, he's going to get money, but like I think it might be somewhat of a discount of what we think.
I don't think he does.
Really, I don't
I mean,
know.
because if he, why not accept a con? Because listen, like it says right there, they offered him a 7-year contract worth 213 and a half. To if you
That's
ask
true.
people in the baseball world, like the
That's
agents and
true.
everything, everybody thought that it was a really good contract that the Yankees offered him. Like as fans, we were all mad. Like, how do you not sign Judge before the season starts? Blah blah blah. But like in the baseball world, everybody's like, wow, that was a really fair contract offer. Like, kind of surprised you didn't take it. And then he
Mm-hmm.
goes out and has this year. So now it's really like well, you just earned yourself an extra probably $100 million. But it's it's
Well,
I don't
we can
know.
go in this very deep, but let's just go with this: Yankees, Giants, and Dodgers is who they have as the top three candidates for who he signs with. Do you think that the Dodgers have a chance
Listen, they have a chance to do whatever they want.
because they've got money? I
Exactly.
mean, other than that, that would be it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would still throw the Mets in there because, you know, maybe
Just
the
to
Mets
piss
do
off the
lose.
Yankees.
Maybe the Mets do lose Degrom because Degrom signs earlier. He makes his decision, maybe or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like Steve Cohen's like, "Oh damn, we just lost our big guy," and I thought I was going to have to spend $42 million on him. Well, why spend $42 million on him? I can go spend it somewhere else now. And
On
you
an
go and
everyday
try and
player.
sign Judge. So, uh,
So I'm going to say it's either going to be the Giants or Yankees,
yeah,
in my opinion.
I would narrow it down to those two as well. I don't. The Dodger thing would be wild to me, like
Mm-hmm.
wild. Like
Like the only way the Dodgers, I mean, the only reason why the Dodgers are in that conversation is just because they can pay money. And
exactly.
that's the reason why I think they're out. Like there's no loyalty from Judge to them. It would just be like, hey, I want to go play in LA. And I don't think it really much matters to him where he plays other than San Francisco because that's he has, I mean, what is it? Was he from San Francisco?
I believe he's from that area. Yeah.
So I mean that would be my only thing that hey, I want to go back and play where I grew up.
Well, that's the other thing. Like I said earlier, it depends. Like, do you want to win or do you want money?
Right.
Because
So
like,
that's why I think he stays with the Yankees and takes a little bit less, maybe in more years. But I mean, if he already turned down 213 for 7 years, what's he wanting? 10 years at 400?
I don't know, he might want 8 at 42 a season, become the highest paid position player of all time. I don't
But
know.
let's go with it. We both think Yankees for next year.
I hope so.
Okay, let's go on to DeGrom, number 2, right-handed pitcher, of course. Has been great since who knows when. He, let's see here, trying to look through here real quick. He opted out of a 1 year that would have paid him $32 million. It's likely that he's seeking a closer $43 million that Scherzer got last year or last winter. So their three landing spots is the Mets, the Rangers, and the Giants. And it's been known today, apparently, that he told Rangers that he is interested in signing with them. I think
Yeah,
that's crazy still.
it's definitely interesting because like I think it. I hate saying this because it makes me seem like I think athletes don't care about winning, but I
They
think at
don't.
this
I mean, they do, but they don't
no, but
anymore.
I mean, listen, there's people that do like there's ones that'll do anything to win, and you hear how much they want to win and everything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I think Degrom at this point is like, listen, I'm probably already in the Hall of Fame, and I've made some pretty damn good money, obviously. But listen, maybe I don't want to live in New York anymore.
Do you think he's a Hall of Fame?
I absolutely. He is by far the best pitcher in the last 5 years. What does he have? Two Cy Youngs.
Two Cy Youngs for sure.
Um, I think he, if any, listen, he doesn't have the longevity, but I think he could pull.
That's
I think he pulls a
that's the
Sandy
thing.
Koufax. Sandy Koufax was good for like 5 seasons.
But see, that's almost why I think he may not. I won't say won't be a Hall of Famer, but there might be a little hesitation for him if his career were to end right now. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize there were some comments. Did you?
I
Sorry
put it
about
up.
that, Jimmy.
I put it up.
Okay. I had
Um,
it blown up, so I was on the other screen. Because for
no,
the
I
fact
think
that
he would make the Hall of Fame right now.
he's great when he pitches, but he's been out for so much, he's not pitching the whole season. So, I mean, that
Yeah,
kind of
no,
hinders a little bit,
that's
in my opinion.
absolutely true. But like I said, Koufax had like 5 good years. He played for like 10 or 11, but he only had
Right,
5. But like that 5-year stretch, he was the best pitcher in baseball.
right.
I think, and DeGrom for all those years in a
But in
row.
those 5 years, he played the whole years too, though, right?
Yeah, I mean
DeGrom
he was
didn't.
unhittable. So
Right,
and listen, I don't think his career ends now anyway. I know what you're saying that if God forbid it did, but like I
right.
think he has at least another 2 or 3 years in him of just pure domination. So
Right.
definitely has time to add to those numbers. But yeah, I mean, listen, the Rangers is an interesting case. I mean, they spent $500,000,000, I should say, dollars on their infield
Mhm.
last year with Simeon and Corey Seager. I believe they only had about 68 wins this season. So they obviously didn't make that jump that some people thought that they would make, and they need pitching to help. They have Jack Leiter, I should say, Al Leiter's son, obviously. Uh, in their farm system, I think he was the number 1 pick in whatever draft he was in. So obviously you have him coming up, and you hope that
Mhm.
he's great. You signed DeGrom. I want to say that they also, because you remember the whole thing with Kumar Rocker with the Mets, and they had the medical situation with him, so they didn't sign him. And I think the Rangers drafted Kumar this year, and he was technically, I'm pretty sure he was a better pitcher at Vanderbilt between him and Leiter.
Oh, the one throw 100, like 105, I think, one time.
Yeah, I mean, he was just very good. That I know.
Uh huh.
And I'm pretty sure he was better than Leiter. So you have Leiter, you have Rocker, you get to Grom, and then I saw some other things today about I think it was Pablo Lopez from the Marlins, who's not a world beater, but pretty solid.
Hmm.
So you redo the pitching staff, and you hope that Seager and Simeon live up to their contracts, and you probably plug in some other people there. Maybe Joey Gallo signs back. Uh, Listen, he wasn't very good anywhere else he played, but I mean, he was decent. I should say, at least with the Rangers. I mean, I think
Uh huh.
the last season he played there, he had like almost 40 home run or like 40 home runs. And I think
I
with the
think
shift
so.
being banned now, maybe he hits a little bit more. I mean, I doubt it because he just strikes out so much. But maybe he comes back, he rejuvenates part of his career. So uh, it's definitely interesting to me
Hmm.
him wanting to go to the Rangers, especially
It's
because
going to be a 1 year contract, though, right?
I don't think so. I think he wants this to be his last contract.
Do you think that's why he's opting out because he want more years? Because if I've been as hurt as much as he has, I mean, even with the article here, he's 35 years old, and the past 2 years of pitching, he's only pitched or started 26 games, which is pretty much a year's worth.
Well, I
A
mean,
little
listen,
high
he
for a year,
said it from
but
the beginning of this season, though. He said the beginning of this year he was opting out.
true.
So I guess he said screw it, no matter what.
Hmm.
I'm opting out. And I mean, he was hurt at the beginning of the year. Like
Right.
he got hurt, and then they asked him again, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm opting out." Like nothing
Mm.
changed. So I mean, hey, listen, he's living with it, and I think he'll get paid because
Oh, yeah.
with how good it's alwa's about the can be. How good he can be and how good he really is when he is healthy, obviously.
Right.
And some team is going to pay him a lot of a lot of money to have him as their opening day starter.
Watch him go to Minnesota.
No.
You know who I wouldn't mind seeing him go to is the White Sox. Because I feel like it's not going to be a big name team. Now I say big name, not like the LA, the New Yorks, or something like that, unless he signs back with the Mets. Because I think it's going to be one of these mid-level, top 10 teams that can't really sign too many free agents. Be like, hey, listen, we've got a shot with him. Let's overpay and see if he can be what he is. If not, we trade him. Because he's great. We know
Can't
that.
trade
But
a
I think
contract like that though.
Well, that's probably true though. But I'm
You
just
can't
thinking
trade
that
a
the
contract like that unless you're eating a lot of them. Like that's what like the
we'll pay half.
like the like the Marlins with Stanton and the Yankees. Like everybody looks at the number that Stanton's technically getting paid, and I think it's over like I think it's somewhere up in like the $28 million range that he's making. But I think the Yankees only pay 20 of it.
Oh wow, okay. But
So
that's
I
like
think the
was it
Marlins
is
are paying like
what?
$8 million of his contract for the rest of his
Oh wow,
contract.
that's crazy. Is it like Rizzo that played for free for you guys?
I want to say, yeah, like the year he got traded over, he did. I want to
Yeah.
say, but
So I don't know. Maybe something to that effect that a mediocre like team, as far as what I'm saying mediocre, as far as the high, no Giants, no Dodgers, no teams like that. The middle of the pack as far as payroll would go. That I mean, even like Cleveland, as young as they were, in that kind of rank of where they would be at. I mean, if they made a move, I think they would be kind of a team that would say, "Hey, we're going to pay more than what you're asking for to try to get you to win the championship." Now, do I think he goes to Cleveland? No, but I'm just saying, I think it could be something like to that effect. I could see him going to or not Seattle, but ooh, I wouldn't mind seeing Seattle, but maybe the Cardinals.
I don't know. It's just he. There's only listen. It's baseball. It's not the NFL and the NBA where there is that cap situation.
Right,
So listen. In all honesty, it is the thing that people hate. There's only a few teams that can sign him. Like this isn't
right,
where everybody has a chance because everybody can spend the same amount of money. Like, listen, the Rays, they're not signing him. You know,
right.
the Rays
The
can't sign a team.
Reds were
The
not
Reds,
signing.
I mean, listen, I mean, you said it, but I don't think the Mariners could. Like, it is going to be one of those top because, like, you say like middle of the pack, like the Rangers just spent $500 million last offseason.
Right.
So it's not like they're like, oh, the little engine that could.
Mm-hmm.
They spent $500 million last year like it was nothing. They did it in like the first 10 minutes of free agency too. So
And two, I think whoever signs him is going to already have an ace. Because if DeGrom is hurt any and you spend all this money on him, like you're putting all your eggs in one basket.
oh yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be a team that already has a good, solid ace that are thinking, hey, he can either be better than our ace, or if he
Or
gets
I could
hurt
just see
some,
the Rangers wanting to do it because it's like, listen, we built a new stadium, we opened it this year. Or last year maybe? Or no, wasn't the
I think
COVID
no.
season?
Last year was
I was gonna say, wasn't the COVID season the playoffs played there?
yes,
So they opened a new stadium a couple years ago. They just spent all this money the year before. Like, all right, let's do it again. So let's really just try and pack the stadium. So
right.
I don't know. I'm obviously interested to see what Degrom does. He's the biggest pitching name by far.
Number 3, Carlos Correa.
I see. I disagree
Landing.
with him being third.
Who do you think should be third?
I think Trey Turner is unbelievable.
Well, not to be a spoiler here, but he's number 4.
I mean, I guess it's one spot, but I would still put him higher. Yeah, Correa didn't have the. I mean, actually, no, he had a pretty solid season, I believe. Um, I don't know what
Well, see,
exactly.
that's what I read this a little bit on him, and it kind of cracked me up because it talked about this guy, and I can't remember, Bill James is his name, has a theory that it's better for you to start hot and cool off through the season because your numbers look better longer than to start cold and then come on mid-season because it's going to take a while for your numbers to get up there. And they talked about how Carlos had a hot beginning of the season, but then kind of faded as it went on.
Yeah, I mean,
And it thinks that this will be
291, 22 home runs, 64 RBIs. Hit a triple, 24 doubles, 136 games. You'd obviously like him to play a little bit more than that, but
I mean, that's not too bad.
I think he got hurt this season at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly sure, but yeah, I mean, it is the typical landing spots. Dodgers. The Cubs is an interesting one because they're sort of rebuilding, but I mean, you
Hmm.
get that one big piece, it can kind of jumpstart a rebuild into a retool instead. Like that's always the thing with the Yankees. Like everybody says, oh, the Yankees don't rebuild, they retool. Because
Right.
like certain teams, I mean, the Cubs have kind of done it because they were bad this season, but like there's no certain teams that are never going to be awful. Like there's certain teams that just aren't going to ever tank because they're those teams. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like the Dodgers are never gonna, go. They're never gonna pull in athletics where they win 60 games in a season. Like that's not gonna
They
happen.
reload. They
Yeah,
don't rebuild. They
they have
reload.
they have too much money that they can spend and a
Hmm.
very good farm system to ever be like, okay, never mind, we're just gonna tank for the rest of the year. Like the only way that
Right.
happens is if literally their entire team got hurt.
Right. Hey
So
guys, real quick, the 4 people that are watching comes back to 5. If you're watching this on Facebook, I've seen a couple of you guys are. Go ahead and give us a little like there so we can see it pop up, the little thumbs up. We'd appreciate that.
we really do. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure subscribe, notification bell, hit it to all, so you make sure when everybody goes live over here on Unwrapped, you can watch everybody and see what they're doing. Uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
but yeah, Dodgers. If Trey Turner leaves, yeah, I mean he found a nice replacement for him. Obviously, uh, would definitely be a little interesting because I know. Listen, when you when people start signing, and, getting money and everything, bad blood just goes away. But I know he's had some things to say about the Dodgers and everything that happened in that World Series year. So that'd be kind of just funny to see, honestly.
Well, see, I
Yeah,
wanted to go on down here, which this is Trey on this one, and it says Cubs, Mariners, and Orioles. So it's almost like they are kind of saying Carlos is probably going to be a Dodgers. So that's why the Cubs are on the second one with Trey Turner. So it almost sounds like Trey's out, and they're going with the Carlos. We don't know
which
how
is
true
very
this
weird to
is,
me because
but
I don't know
that's what we're going to kind of
why.
be
I
watching.
don't know why you would
I
really
would
want
rather
to move
want
on
Trey
from Trey
Turner.
Turner. I mean, I
Right.
would take Trey Turner on my team in a millisecond. He's a near 300 hitter every year. He's good for probably 20 plus home runs. Can probably steal you 30 bases. Uh, Plays all over the place. Not the greatest
Doesn't say
defender
anything
of
about
all
his
time,
age. Is he getting up there?
but no, I think he's. I think he's. I don't think he's too old. What's the other thing? Oh, the only thing I don't see on the Trey Turner list, you know, they say that. Or I saw Orioles, Mariners, Cubs.
Orioles,
A lot
Mariners,
of interest.
Cubs.
A lot of
Please,
interest from the
Mariners.
Phillies.
From the
That's
Phillies,
that,
yeah.
that was like the first rumor that I had heard that came out really involving the free agency.
Hmm.
Was the Phillies' interest in Trey Turner? I mean, hey, if you're the Phillies, you really need a shortstop. I mean, that's been a place that they've kind of struggled for a little bit. I mean, they tried Didi Gregorius there for a little bit, that didn't
Hmm.
work. They've had some stopgap guys there. So I mean, hey, if you can get Trey Turner, then you pair him with
But
Bryce
the only
Harper,
thing,
and you pair him with Kyle Schwarber and Castellanos, and then you're like,
reload.
okay, hey, maybe he is that missing piece at the top of our
Hmm.
lineup that he can get on base, at a 350 clip, and all of a sudden Bryce is batting second. A lot more RBI opportunities for him.
Absolutely. But the only thing that I worry about is it says here he committed 16 errors last year.
Yeah, not the best defender.
Yeah, because it goes on to say that uh, Carlos, Xander, and Swanson combined for 26 together.
See,
That's three
here's
people.
my thing, right? You can deal with that because he's so good offensively.
Mhm. Who's Philly's third baseman?
Is that Bohm? I want to say. Is he the third
I thought
baseman?
Bone was right field.
No, maybe not. I can
I
look it up.
don't know. I
I
want
can't,
to feel
I
like
can't
Bone was
remember
right
off the top
field.
of my head. Let's take a
I was
look.
just wondering maybe transition
I
to
know
third
it is
base
Bohm.
because we see. Is it okay? But Bone, I mean,
I
I
mean,
don't
he's
see
only
him going anywhere.
26, so
Yeah.
he ain't going
So I
nowhere.
don't know. I would like to see him go to the Mariners just because I think the Mariners are very close. And this would be
Right.
definitely saying, hey, we're all in this season. Uh, he's already from West Coast playing in LA. Move him on up to Seattle. I think he would be electrifying for that atmosphere there.
No, that would be very fun. Him, Julio, in the same lineup. That's a lot of speed and some
Hmm.
pop. Well, I think Julio hit somewhere. Did he? I don't know. I don't think he reached. No, he did reach 30 home runs. So I think he had 30 something. Obviously, he's fast as all hell, and then you put Trey there as well. I
And
think
Suarez, who had a great year.
that'd be some fun. That'd be a fun top of the lineup. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next, Michael?
So we did Trey Man. Let's go
Trey.
on down.
Xander Bogaerts, another short. Yeah, shortstop class this year is loaded.
Yep.
I'm very interested to see what happens to everybody. I mean, because not everybody needs a shortstop, but I mean,
everyone needs a shortstop.
Yeah, if you can move on from, and it's weird though because like you also take certain teams out of it because they already have theirs. Like, maybe the Astros because they have money to spend, but they don't need one. They have Jeremy Pena there. The Yankees,
Right.
I don't think would go out and sign a big shortstop because they have Peraza and Volpe, who are both shortstops in their farm system that they weren't willing to trade away at the deadline. So if they're not willing to trade them away, why would you now block them?
Delay
Somebody big so you can take them away.
What position does Dominguez play?
Dominguez is a center fielder.
Okay.
Center fielder. Has a cannon. Red Sox, Twins, Giants. Yeah, it's kind of more of the same. Obviously, the Red Sox would like him back. Twins is a new one.
I don't think he goes back.
I don't think he goes back either. I think he signs somewhere else.
I do too.
Because I think they're trying to build the team in Boston a little bit differently than they have in the past. So I don't know if they want to spend a ton of money. And next season, they have Devers to try and sign to a contract. And I think Devers is like 24.
30. I was thinking he was 30. Is he
Devers?
younger than that?
Devers?
Wow. I was way off.
Devers came up when he was like 18. He's young as hell.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he's been in there for a while.
He's just assassin for a reason.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, I'm 26. So, yeah, I mean, he's super young. I think Xander is what? He is 30. So, 4 years. Devers is a corner infielder, which is, pretty difficult to find as well. And shortstops obviously are as well. But I don't know. I see him going somewhere else. Maybe if the Twins do lose Correa, plug and play. You just move over Xander over there.
I didn't realize he opted out of a 3-year contract here.
Yeah, I didn't
3 years for $60 million.
He had another good year. I think he batted over 300. Doesn't have the range that everybody loves on a shortstop, but plays a pretty solid shortstop, I would say. So that's enough. I don't think he goes back. I don't think Correa goes back to the Twins either. He just went from the Astros to the Twins. Saw the Astros win another World Series. I don't know if he wants to go back to the Twins, where it's like, damn, I probably can't win. Because he's where I would think he wants his money, obviously, but it's also like, damn, I've tasted a World Series before. I would really love another one. I'm still young enough to do it. Why would I go to a team and sign a long contract?
Right.
Where I probably can't get one. I mean, unless he just continuously signs 1-year contracts as he gets older. But I don't know if he would do that either. So, yeah. You got any prediction?
I'm going to go Giants here. No reason. I just feel like he doesn't go back with the Red Sox. I don't think Twins is really at a spot to say we're contenders. I mean, they had a better year this year than they had last year. But out of those 3 teams, I'm picking the Giants. I just feel San Francisco, the atmosphere they got, the beautiful bay that they have there. And if they're actually in on Judge, maybe that would make me want to go to Giants as well.
Yeah.
So, moving on down to number 6, we got Verlander. Of course, I think he just turned 40 or is supposed to be turning 40 this time. Let's see here. We don't want to watch that.
Going to win a Cy Young.
I'm going way too fast here. Going to win a Cy Young at the age of 39.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think
he declined his 1-year option worth $25 million.
I think he goes back.
I don't know.
I mean, why leave? They can pay him enough money to come back, and you can have a chance to win. I wouldn't leave, but hey.
I think wherever he goes, that team has a chance to win the World Series as soon as he signs. I do think that. So for that, I could see him go to Astros. Do what?
I wouldn't say that whatever team he signs has a chance to win. I mean, yeah, it's nice to have that frontline starter, but I mean, he's always
No,
got
I'm
to
saying
remember
like,
that's like 30 games a year that he's pitching.
but what I'm meaning is like he's going to a contender to sign. Like he
Oh
would
yeah,
go to the Braves because they are a front runner, and signing him puts them, hey, we're good now. I mean, they're already good. They were the best team in baseball after the break. They just didn't win it in the world or the playoffs. So I could see him going to the Braves, which obviously they do. I could see him going back to Astros because they won what 114 something like that this year.
100.
So
I think 106. Honestly,
I don't think he's the kind of guy that would go to the Yankees. I just think seeing him in a Yankees uniform would be sick.
they tried.
But I don't know. I don't know of a team that he would be other than the
I
Astros.
think it'd be
So
so cool to see him on the Orioles. Like if the Orioles were just like, screw it. I know you're 41 or about to be 40. Here's
let's
30
just do
million.
it.
We'll give you five more than you made last year. We got a young up and coming team. Even if you pitch like crap, hey, maybe it's just a
It
1 year
was one
contract and you
year.
can teach all the young pitchers that we have.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, it would be interesting for the Orioles to make that kind of splash.
I see. I think the Orioles have money to spend. It's just the fact that they never spent it because, well, I mean, I know the Chris Davis contract hurt them pretty bad.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, listen, when the Orioles are good, Baltimore shows up, and
Absolutely.
they were they were pretty solid this year. I mean,
I hate
and
their uniforms though.
really, I kind of like them.
I hate that white with that just the Oriole on it.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
like them
know.
as well.
I wish it was all orange and then the Oriole. That would be actually kind of sweet. I think.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I probably think he goes back to the Astros. Honestly,
Yeah, I don't want him to, but I think that's it. All right, going on
Brandon
to number 7.
Nimmo.
Now, I thought this
So
was
good.
interesting. Soto, Freeman, Harper, Judge, and Goldsmith are the only 5 players have in common are the only players that have more hits at the. Oh, I'm sorry, more plate appearance than Nemo
Nimmo.
since the pandemic. So he's been pretty productive while he's up there, but it's not
Yeah.
really been a big name.
No, I mean
Well,
he definitely gets overshadowed on the Mets. You know, you got Alonso there, you have Lindor there, Degrom, Scherzer. Um,
excuse me.
but I think with him, I think he goes to Colorado. Um,
Really?
you know, that was the first team that kind of really had interest in him. I
Mm-hmm.
know that the Mets is obviously a better chance to win, which that's not the hardest thing to say in the world. But I think the Rockies are just weird. I think that they're willing to pay him. See, it's hard. I'll say this too, though. It's very difficult to determine where these people are going when they're also bidding against the Mets, because
Right.
the Mets have the most money, but it is literally just a simple fact of like, is Cohen gonna say, "Hey, I know I said I wouldn't go crazy when I bought the team, but by the
But I'm not
way,
losing.
piss off. I'm gonna do whatever the hell I want. It's my team. I can do what I want with it. You're gonna tell me I can't spend my own money?"
Well, it's
So,
crazy. At some point, he's going to either say, I just decided not to get this guy,
absolutely,
because he's got the money.
he could literally have a $600 million payroll if he felt like it.
Right. And that's what's
And
crazy
don't get me
is,
wrong, would
what a
the
catch.
Mets lose money as a business? Absolutely. Could he accept the loss? Yeah, he could, because he's not a millionaire. He's got billions, about six of them, I think.
God.
So
I mean, I'll just take a million. You're good, man.
yeah, I would I would definitely what is his net worth? Let me check.
And of course, I mean, with the Rockies, they made a move last year getting,
Oh wait, hold on. Cohen's fortune is derivative from his holdings in hedge funds. The firm had 26.1 billion in assets under management. 9.1 billion belongs to Cohen. So yeah, he's $9 billion.
$9 billion.
600
Hold
million
up.
dollars. Then he makes that back in a couple of years, and not even a couple of years, in a couple of months.
With the B billion, what's the point one then?
Million. 9.1 billion. She has 9 billion, 1 million dollars.
Okay, because I understand it when it's million that it's like thousands. That's why I was like, hold up, is that
Oh,
point one in the millions? That's
oh
crazy.
yeah, I do believe so.
But anyways, the Rockies I could see making a move because they went with Chris Bryant last year. Maybe this is the noisemaker that they do this year to build on that team. So I'm okay with that too.
All right, Carlos Rodon.
I say
Nice.
we do this one and call it quits.
Oh, well, I mean, listen, he's number 8. We'll do 9, 10, and then call it quits from there, I would say. Why not?
Okay.
Do it quick and get on. My computer literally sounds like it's about to explode.
Okay.
Um,
So Rodon, a left-handed pitcher.
Rangers, Giants, is that I see Cardinals at the bottom there as their top,
We'll go
as,
back
as
down.
the
Let's see.
as the
Yep.
suggested.
Rangers.
Rangers, Giants,
Yes.
Cardinals. I mean, yeah. I don't listen. He's obviously not going to command as much money as Degrom or somebody who makes money like that.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him, high 20s. So I
Okay.
do kind of wonder if, like, I wonder how much money the Rangers want to spend because you can really redo your pitching staff and your whole team if you're like, hey, Degrom, here's 43, and Rodon, we can give you like 28, my guy, and then you have Degrom, Rodon. I mean, hey, that's not the worst 1-2 punch anybody's ever seen. I mean, obviously the Cardinals too, they could use him. Hopefully
Mm-hmm.
Jack Flaherty comes back next season and he's healthy. Would have Flaherty and then Rodon. And then obviously the Giants, I'm sure, would love him back because he had a
Mm-hmm.
very good season this year. So
Sorry, thirsty.
who's next?
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be a signee of after the big ones go and see who he
Yeah,
wants to go with.
a dust settles kind of guy.
Yeah, yeah, and that's fine. Swanson.
This is an interesting one.
You know where I want him to go.
The
I don't
Mariners.
think he goes back to the Braves.
No, I don't think he goes back to the Braves either because we've seen it. They
They
get
would have
all of
signed
their
him.
talent. Yeah, exactly. They get all of their players, when they're 6 years old and they sign them to 80-year contracts. And then, they sign to an 80-year contract for $1 a season.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the one person that they didn't sign. So,
Right.
they're clearly not in love with him, in my eyes at least. Now, obviously, could he go back? I'm sure. But listen, there's just so many shortstops that it's like, I wonder if, like, I think they're going to get paid a lot, but I also wonder
Mm-hmm.
if, like, early on, it's kind of like, okay, the Phillies have interest in you. They're offering you 6 years at 30 million a season. We can probably try and get more. And the player's just like, no, 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 no. Just accept the contract now because, like, I don't want Correa coming over here being like, oh yeah, I'll take the same offer.
Right.
So I
I
wonder
mean,
if
you
like
never
it's a
know.
fast and furious thing for the shortstop position because I mean, like we said, it's Trey Turner, it's Carlos Correa, Dansby Swanson, Xander Bogarts. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of talent. Like these aren't bottom of the line shortstops. Like they're, I think every single person I just named is a top 10 shortstop. At that position. So
Just all around.
yeah, I would
Because
say
I mean,
all around.
Swanson, even what they're saying here, like his whiff or his swing and no contact is pretty high. But I mean, I don't hold that total against him because I mean it's
That's
in
the
the era
MLB though.
where do what?
That's the MLB these days.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it's either bomb or bust, really.
So I don't know. It's hot. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's gonna be
Okay,
fun to find out. I'll tell you that.
but I don't
Who's
think the
next?
Braves should be on that one.
Yeah,
Leighton.
I mean, listen, you got to put him on there because that's the team he's playing for. So I mean, obviously you have a chance. But
Mm-hmm. I loved how short of a paragraph they wrote for him and just like landed spots Dodgers.
well, he already actually just resigned.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, he just signed a 1 year contract.
Well, let's
Actually,
just
I
go
don't
on
know
to
if he
Wilson
actually signed it, but it's
Contreras.
reported by everybody that he's on the verge of signing a 1 year contract with the
Okay.
Dodgers. So, uh,
So let's
Wilson
just go
Contreras
on
at
to
number
Wilson.
11 is interesting. Yeah. Cubs, Angels, or Cardinals? I mean, listen, if you're the Cardinals, you found your Yadier Molina replacement very easily.
Yes.
Um, and then obviously, I mean, the Angels could use help
Back with the
everywhere.
Cubs.
So,
Would you go back to the team that traded you?
they didn't trade him.
They didn't? Or did
The
he sign
Cubs?
in free agent? Yeah.
No, they were going to trade him this offseason, and then they didn't. Or not this offseason, at the
Oh,
trade
okay.
deadline.
That's
Didn't
right.
remember? Yeah, we were all kind of
Trade deadline.
surprised that he
That's what
wasn't one
I'm
of those
yeah.
people that got traded.
Right. I just
Um,
assumed that they traded him because they should have.
yeah, they probably should.
I'm actually going to go with the Cardinals on this one, and I hate it to think that someone like that would go from the Cubs to the Cardinals because that rivalry they have anyways. But they need to replace Yachty, and this guy's great. Like I know he's 11th on the list, but I think that
Well,
value of the
listen,
catcher.
he's the only catcher that's worth anything
Yeah,
this offseason.
like
So,
when I look at this list earlier, I was kind of looking at him and I thought, like when you do an NFL fantasy football draft, you know that the best position as far as getting most points is quarterback, but you don't draft them because they're so.
there's a lot
I
of
mean, yeah, and I feel like in this case, like I would almost go for Contreras here because there's no other
Oh yeah,
catchers. Like
no. There's literally
it
no other catcher that's worth anything on free agency this season.
yeah.
And there's
So
honestly not a
like
lot of catchers that are worth much in the MLB as a whole anyway. It's like
no,
him, Realmuto, Adley Rushman looks like he's good for the Orioles.
mm-hmm.
Uh,
Who was the Kansas City catcher?
Salvador Perez, yeah, he's been good for a
Perez
while. I mean,
didn't
Yadi's
have the best
obviously
year
good
last
for all
year.
those years, but I mean, there's not too many catchers that are truly worth anything.
No,
But all right, Michael, I say we call it there.
sounds
And
great.
yeah, listen, maybe. Well, actually, I would say, hopefully, we have more information of where everybody is going to land in free agency by the next episode of Backstop Banter, which, as everybody knows, 9 or 10, I'll say, Eastern.
Hopefully 9 o'clock next week because we have us a guest next week.
Ah, yes. Every Thursday, I'll go through my stuff. Michael will go through his. I'm sure he'll tell you about our guest, unless he wants to keep it a surprise. Mondays is Generational Sports. Me and Josh talking a little bit about everything 7 Eastern. Tuesdays is the hard count. That's me and CJ talking everything in the football world. Obviously, I could just send me and Michael here every Thursday talking baseball. Anthony Conover _ is my Twitter. You can find the link to everything I do over there. And listen, with all that, Michael, take it away.
Boom. You can, of course, follow us on Twitter at Backstop Banter, and then follow myself, MD Lawson00. And as Perry comes into your comments, yes, sir, boys, we appreciate that, Perry. As he makes the comment on YouTube, of course, go follow the Unwrapped Sports YouTube page or whatever you want to call it. Hit the subscribe. Give us a notification that you're watching us, or hit that like button. Turn on the notifications when everyone goes live is what I meant. But also, with that being said, our guest that is going to be on next Thursday his name is Vincent. You may know who he is, but not from his name. If you ever watch TikTok, social media of any sort, and you ever seen that umpire for the banana games, that umpire that dances a lot, that's who he is. He's the dancing umpire. He's been doing some TikTok lives, just chatting with some people, and I got in the comments with him, and he's accepted the invitation to join the show this coming Saturday, as long as everything works out. We was going to get him on today, but he was actually in Florida, couldn't get on. So hopefully we'll be able to get him on here. Vincent seems like a really cool guy. Maybe he might reach out to Dalton, see if he wants to chat with us as well. But of course, my other show is on Sunday. It is Count the Bucket, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. We may be going a little bit earlier on that one too, because we have a special guest on it as well this Sunday. His name is Justin Johnson. He actually is playing over in Germany right now. He's actually from my state here in Kentucky and played for Western Kentucky University, and now he's overseas playing. So he's going to be on Sunday. It's going to be like 2 to 3 o'clock a.m. his time, but yet he's said he would join. So we may back our time a little bit to try to be a little bit more special for him, I guess. Yeah.
Well, all right, everybody. With all that being said, appreciate everybody for tuning in and listen.
Absolutely.
Catch you on the next one, all right?